Okay.
Say when.
I'm ready.
On Friday night. On Friday night, I walked alone through the cool air. It was comfortable. A woman several floors up called down to me, "Are you Kyle?" I'd never seen her before. And then some guy stopped me, asked me to give him a slow massage. He was 6 feet 2 inches tall with beautiful lemony skin. I'd never given a massage to a stranger before. He led me to his apartment and said that I was too shy, that I should climb on top of him. He was ready with oils. He lit several candles and selected some music. Afterwards, I walked back down Baker Street and looked up to the woman who was still leaning out her window. "Oh, come on, you're Kyle, aren't you?" I stopped long enough to reply that I was not the man she was waiting for. When I got home, I skimmed through my grandmother's old scrapbooks for the first time. It was full of newspaper clippings, mostly of men killed in action during World War II. It was her birthday. So it was early in 2000 that late 1999, early 2000 that I guess I started thinking about this, and I knew that I was going to be leaving Boston, a city that I really, really loved, and a place where I had decided I was a poet, really, really seriously. I knew I was moving to San Francisco, a place where I knew there was a good literary community. Like being a writer, being a poet was like so important to me suddenly that I wanted to make sure that I knew I was moving away from these people that I developed this relationship with, and poets who I really loved and stayed in touch with on a regular basis or met with every week, some of them I think, and just talked about poetry and read our poetry to each other. I'm like, how can I stay in touch with these people and also figure out a way to do the same sort of thing in San Francisco, because this was like a gold mine for me. It was like such a wonderful thing.
Shampoo from 2000 to 2010 has asserted itself as part of a bridge as well. This experimental, free-flowing, gay, straight, multiracial, multi-community, multinational. It's a great.
Oh, those are great words. Yes, thank you.
It's a great collector of voices.
Probably more Asian poetry and Asian American poetry than maybe a lot of people would. I've published a lot more gay poetry than a lot of people would. I've published a lot more poems that deal with like sex and sexuality maybe than others would. I'm sure you can categorize my work.
Yeah.
I like to write poetry. I love to write poetry. I love reading poetry. I love interacting with poets when it comes to talking about their work, reading their work, and understanding, what they're trying to say. And getting to know people and engaging with people in that regard.
I think maybe a little break.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can't eat that.
I was going to say.
You might be able to.
One of the things that I noticed about myself, and I'll be perfectly honest, is that I take more risks if I know I'm writing something for Shampoo or for you. If I think, oh yeah, Dell's 10th anniversary issue, I really want to just put it out there. And this is my own issue and problem.
See, that's fantastic. That's like, okay.
But I think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people are like, here you go.
Because unfortunately, people need that kind of encouragement because we get discouraged so much from doing such.
Right. Yeah, there's an encouragement about your editorial style that kind of lets you take a big deep breath and let your hair down and put on your funnest outfit, like you're going to a party.
I am most certain that some who have sent work to me over and over again might say just exactly the opposite.
That they're, well, maybe it's that.
Like, oh, he doesn't like, so I hope that, I love that you say that. I really, that's important to me, but I don't know that everybody would agree either. And I do actually always try to challenge myself, and I think that's extremely important for an editor. Mm-hmm. Challenge what you think is right.
What's a good example of that?
Oh, I don't know. Publishing, reading something. Okay, so let's just take. If I pick up a poem that automatically starts out this is going to be a religious poem or whatever. I challenge myself the moment that I roll my eyes, and I'm like, but just okay, read this, right? And I read it, and sometimes, occasionally, I will find I was just an idiot for thinking, why should I read further? It's an amazing poem. I just try to be aware. And I've always really tried to be, the thing that I've always tried to be, multicultural and aware of trying, how multicultural, for example, my publication is. Open-minded and aware of how open-minded I really, really am. And anytime there is some sort of you're either us or them, I actually fight that. Mm-hmm. I actually think, why? So I want to make sure that there's plenty of us and plenty of them.
Right. You're a bridge builder.
It's kind of. Again, it's just me, but I have an idea of what poetry, what's good poetry too. It's certainly good for me anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know, and I think that it's not 100% whimsical. It's not totally random, and it requires work and talent. No, I want to completely perform a poem.
You're at a circus.
Yes, exactly.
There's a clown.
It's right in your face. Now read.
That's funny. I love the fact that there were colors, as backgrounds, and I remember I was one of the first people to be like, can I be hot pink?
All I wanted was the poetry. All I wanted was to be able to read the poetry very clearly. And so it's just extremely basic. Mm-hmm. It's all about the poetry, and that's it. And now we've come to graphic art. There are art. I do have a lot of graphic poems. In fact, I kind of have a bent toward graphic pieces. Things that aren't just words anymore. Mm-hmm. And I can put a JPEG into there. It's no big deal, as long as, no matter where you're sitting, in whatever country, whatever computer, PC or Mac or whatever browser that you're using, you can read it.
Exactly.
And it's never going to be where everybody can read it legibly. But my whole point was, I just want it to be read. I just want people to be able to read it easily and clearly. So I thought, what shtick can you have in such a case? And I'm like, well, I'll just make every page a different color.
And that's another thing I would like to ask you is, there's never been this grandiose aesthetic statement from you, and it's all implicit in the work and the design and, like you said, cute, fun, colorful, that kind of thing.
It's really simple. I mean, it's just stuff that I like. Basically, it's just always just been me, and so there's nothing. It's been very clear. I mean, this is the work that I think is interesting, important, fun, whatever. If it does something for me, and I feel like it should be, if I think it'd be great if other people read it, then I publish it.